welcome on board Sanjiv Bhasin. Sanjiv, hi, good morning. Can't take your eyes off from Reliance. What a massive 150-point contribution to the index alone yesterday. What's charging up Reliance?
Yeah, good morning, Aisha. So I think it's a born homie for the Bulls and for people who are watching it now. All the other channels at 21,000 is gone. Aisha, you have to have conviction. Don't ever underestimate the bull momentum in Indian markets. Yesterday, Dow futures were lower when we closed, but seeing the Indian momentum, they closed at all-time highs. So we are for once the trend changer or the trend leader. And yes, Reliance did take my breath away. I have been on the positive side that 20 lakh crore market cap will come. I think Nikunj will vouch for that. Some of parts, we think the unlocking of telecom and the retail business could be on the cards. They are one of the largest growing groups which is diversifying into the best of businesses after the OTC chemical or OTC business became cash rich. And I think, like we said, we never can underestimate that if HDFC Bank lags, then what will pull up the market? So we are going to be at new highs, and the side people on the sideline will keep waiting for corrections. This goes to show, Aisha, never say never to the stock market. And those same funds which were said we will never touch PSUs are actually biting their nails. NBCC at all-time high, GAIL at all-time high, ONGC at all-time high. I can go on. So keep riding the momentum, watch ET now and buy good stocks when the market gives you the correction.
And who better than you to give that list of good stocks? Tell us, what are your top PSU picks where people can still buy in and ride the wave?
So I still think NBCC, Hutco are going to give you a surprise on the upside. Nalco and GAIL are looking very good on the energy and the gas side, and so is NMDC. But Aisha, I think the star could be Indigo. I have been, again, as you know, I travel almost every weekend. Last weekend was Surat. This weekend was Ahmedabad. Flights are back and running. The lowest, the fastest change around time is Indigo. This quarter, the numbers on Tuesday will see a profit of more than 4,500 crore. Given that fuel prices have been low, traffic at all-time highs, wedding booking, there is not a single seat to stand. So you can imagine what the power of whenever a luxury becomes a necessity, that's the change which you have to look for. So I am very positive on Indigo, and I think that 3,500 can be on the cards once we get close to the budget. New highs are very much on the card. My other pick would definitely be Ashok Leyland. Again, the conduit from the bus terminal to the aircraft, and which is seeing the fastest expansion in buses, which they have not seen in the last 5 years, given the rejuvenation of schools, meetings, board meetings, and the demand for their EV side. And third, last but not least, would be again Dhanlaxmi Bank, which I have been recommending from that 38 level. I think this is one of the best banks to buy from downside Kerala, aside from the the PSUs which I've already said. But Indigo, Ashok Leyland, Dhanlaxmi Bank, and your Nalco, these should be outperformers.
Okay. What about your reading then on Vodafone in terms of the kind of numbers that we saw, the subscriber as well, the kind of subscriber addition numbers that we saw for the telecom space? Yes, you had the overall net losses for Vodafone narrowing in the December quarter. What did you make of that?
So positive, Avan, at least they have guided you that 2,000 crore is coming from one of the promoters. We will make for more funding, but they are on the anvil of getting into 5G, and they are gaining market share at the cost of the others in 3G, in 4G. I think their net ARPUs have been very, very strong at 145. And if you compare that with a Reliance at 190 and Bharti at 200, I think there is scope on the upside on that. And now for Vodafone, the only issue is the funding. As they've said, they have no obligation towards any bank which has defaulted. Their dues are mainly due to the spectrum and the interest charges which has been converted into equity from Government of India. So if you have the wherewithal to sit through, once the funding happens, the stock can be re-rated. We had a buy at that 10.5, 11. We also gave an exit at 18.5 when we thought the run-up was quite fast and sharp. and we will wait for more developments on the funding. The key here is Avan, the funding, which will infuse capital and which will give them the wherewithal to go faster into the 5G space.
You know, Sanjeev, just taking a leaf from what you said, that the dominance is now back to the PSU names. What about the erstwhile financial favorites? HDFC Bank has clearly not participated at all. In fact, it's been on the downtrend since its numbers. And now looking at Bajaj Finance's numbers as well, there's been that mild dip in asset quality because of the personal loan slippages. You think the heydays for a Bajaj Finance, HDFC Bank are behind us?
Well, Aisha, like I said, never say never. Sometimes these opportunities are God given. If you have a longer term view, you know the brand which HDFC has and Bajaj has been, has always been stellar. And I think the asset quality, the overall branch reach out has been very, very dynamic. Now, these opportunities do come, but what has happened is market, because of over dependence by large mutual funds and those PMSs on these two stocks, they've lagged the broader market, and your performance is measured against the broader market outperformance. I mean, who said that the mid cap index is again hitting new highs, which tells you that now you want to be in faster moving stocks, which in the short run can be beneficial, but in the longer run can be little more painful because they can be profit booking. I still think at 2.5, 2.8 times HDFC Bank will be a good play. I am more bullish on Jio Finance on a longer term, so I would give Bajaj a miss over here.
All right, there you have it. That's the view coming in on some of those heavyweights in trade. But Adani Energy is in the spotlight on the back of their quarterly performance. Anil Sardana, the managing director. On and get in your take then as to what you make of L&T. What's the expectation? Because this time around, we're expecting the order flow to be a little bit flat. How are you looking at the quarterly performance and how L&T has performed?
So, Aman, L&T has been a core constituent of this rally. I mean, it has been the biggest legs to the market. And, quietly it has made its way to all-time highs, despite the pessimism about margins and so on. Margins have been strong. They've been in high double digits, which has never been the case for L&T for many years that I've tracked it. But if you see Bonhomie on capex, it's across the board. Cummins, ABB, Siemens, you name it. Numbers will be taken with a pinch of salt. The stock is already priced in all the good news, but it continues to be the best play on the Indian capex, whether it's hydrocarbon, electrical, infrastructure, and only gathering momentum. So we think the stock is expensive and fully priced, but it is a core constituent given the outlook for the capex, like I said. So we think these 5 stocks, Siemens, ABB, Cummins, L&T, and Bharat Forge, are key players in this whole space and will continue to be market performers.
Reliance up, will Jio catch up?
Is that for me, Nikunj?
अरे सर भसीन साहब तो एक ही है हमारे सबके भसीन साहब एक ही है जब चंदा मामा बोलते हैं एक ही चंदा मामा सबके मामा तो भसीन साहब भी तो एक ही है
Nikunj ji, bilkul. Jio Finance, I think, is made huge bottoms around that 200, 205. Now the unleashing of the business. See, the group is very, very bullish on intermediary and financial lending and the whole fintech basket. They are progressing extremely strongly. I met the Jio management sometime back in Amritsar at IM, and they were, very, very gung-ho on how they are, into lending of all sorts, with included insurance, AIF, and the whole gamut. So I think finance is not a problem. They've got a credible partner in Blackstone. And if anybody is going to take market share from Bajaj over a period of time, it is Jio. So, like you said, when last did you see Reliance move from 15, 16 lakh crore to 20 lakh crore? And the maximum period, maximum move has come in the last week. So it's been the balancing act for HDFC Bank's underperformance. And I still think Jio with a 2-year view is a must-have in a portfolio.